Greetings, goths, punks, metalheads, herberts, herbetters, Martians and subterranean folk and cosmic groovers. How you're all doing? My name's John and this is the Health Anarchist channel. Well, today's going to be an indoor video. We're in another patch of horrendous rain and I've got a good subject to talk about today. I'm going to talk about goth clothes mainly, but more about thrifting or charity shopping, second-hand clothes, DIY and customizing things. So we'll start off, in 2026, if you look at the goth clothes available in shops and online, there's a vast amount. It's something that didn't happen at the beginning of goth. There was no stuff like that about, and no ready-made stuff, but now there's so much and it can be a bit overwhelming, I find, and it can also be very expensive. And don't get me wrong, there is some lovely items out there and I occasionally buy them when I can afford them. But goth doesn't have to be about that. It doesn't have to be about this big commercial thing where you're buying everything. It can be a very creative thing as well. And one thing that you will like to know is that charity shopping for second-hand clothes, DIYing and customizing goth items, it's one of the core roots of goth, and it's been there from the beginning, and it's out of necessity. So when the goth subculture first started off, people would make their own clothes, people would customize stuff, and people would DIY stuff because there was none of those things in the shops to buy ready-made. You might get some things from other sort of genres like punk, like studded belts and things like that you could bring into the goth sort of look, which is helpful, because goth did come from the punk scene, so there is some crossover items that you could use. And obviously you sort of rock and metal stuff, there's little bits from that you could use as well, studs, that kind of thing. But as for buying off the shelf goth dresses or goth tops, there was none of it. So when the first goth bands started getting a bit more organized, they started putting out band t-shirts. So you get a t-shirt, or you could get a badge or a patch maybe. But for the vast majority of goths, who were the pioneers really, most of the stuff was second-hand clothes from charity shops, and they'd customize them, change them, do them up, and that was what they wore. My memories of the 80s goth scene when I was very young, on the dance floor, songs like Sisters of Mercy playing, and there was a lot of fabric swishing about, big dresses, stuff that people had customised from charity shop finds, or they'd even made themselves, handmade, and there was just a lot of fabric. And that's my memories of what the clothes were. The guys were a bit more toned down in general, not always. Sometimes the guys were just as elaborate. But for the guys, it was more like a black leather jacket, a band t-shirt, black pants, and goth boots of some kind. The point I'm trying to get across is you can do goth on a budget. You don't need loads of money. You can do it on a shoestring budget really, because a lot of the goths, the originals, a lot of them were students, so they're on a student budget. So the stuff they made was things you could do with not a lot of money. So for people nowadays that don't have a lot of money, you don't have to go for the big expensive things. You can DIY it. You can get second-hand stuff, do it up just like the goth pioneers. So I actually found a really good, interesting bit of footage on the internet, and it's a goth club night in Yorkshire in the 80s, and it's got some of the original goths chatting about the clothes. So we'll just play that now.
You will be. And yours?
Deborah Stratton.
Right, and are you both working or unemployed or what?
Well, I'm working.
You're working? Where you work?
Well, believe it or not, I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse?
I am.
Yeah, where?
Dewsbury.
And what basically does that involve?
Well, I'm still training at the moment, so I work at Batley and Cliff and Dewsbury hospitals. I'm on casualty at the moment at Dewsbury.
Yeah, and are you working?
Well, I'm a part-time student and I'm unemployed besides that. I'm doing A-levels.
Yeah, okay. Where'd you get your hair done? You know, do you get it done specially at any special place, or do you do it yourself, or what?
We do it ourselves, really.
Yeah, I've got a friend who cuts my hair.
And what about all your clothes? Do you have to buy them at any special shop, or do you go to a certain shop, or...
I make my own clothes.
Sorry, can you say that again?
I make my own clothes.
And what about you?
Well, get some made and then you just look around for whatever you fancy.
So what, you just basically buy what you want, if you see it, you buy it. You don't go anywhere special to buy your clothes or whatever?
Well, not really, no. Jumble sales are pretty good.
Yeah, second-hand shops.
Yeah.
So you go to a lot of jumble sales and second-hand shops to pick up that style of clothing?
Yeah. Oxfam's alright.
Oxfam. Yeah. And what sort of music, what's your favourite type of music, your favourite records?
Oh no, I don't know really. It's
Whatever to play.
quite vast really.
John Bennett.
Nancy tells me.
And do you work or unemployed or what?
I go to college, Huddersfield.
Unemployed.
Sorry?
Unemployed.
Huddersfield.
Right, now, I've asked the other people I've interviewed, could you tell me about your clothes, your style of dress, where you get the clothes from?
Mostly second-hand places and stuff, and mostly I make them myself.
Yeah, some of the others said they got them from Oxfam shops and jumble sales, that type of place. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the most original places there is for this sort of clothes.
Yeah, and is that the same with you?
Yeah. Buy dresses and cut them up and just do anything with them.
Well, so actually buy dresses and... Yeah, okay. And your outfit's a bit unusual, to say the least. Did you make it yourself?
Yeah, I made it off a sheet off her bed.
You made it out of a bed sheet? Yeah, okay.
My sheets.
And your hairstyles, do you do them yourself or do you get them specially done?
Well, I went to an hairdresser's and they didn't cut it how I liked it, so I just do it on my own way.
Well, so they didn't cut it how you wanted it to be cut, so you spiked it up like that?
Yeah.
And what about you?
I worked at that hairdresser's. I didn't do it. I got sacked the morning she came in for an hair doing.
It wasn't you that cut hair, was it?
Me. I would have done it. I'd have made a better job than what other woman did.
Yeah, okay. And what about you?
Supposed to be doing my hair, but he got sacked, so she did it, and it was awful. So I had to do it myself.
So you was working at the hairdressers and you got sacked because someone cut her hair badly? No?
I got sacked the morning that these two were coming in for the hair doing. And I were going to do their hair, but she sacked me, so she did their hair and made a mess of it.
So that's why you got hair cut how you didn't want it to be cut?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, what sort of music do you like? Obviously, you like this alternative style of music, but in particular, could you sort of make it a bit more specific?
Smiths mainly, and Echo and the Bunnymen and stuff like that. Out generally, just no particular taste, just absolutely out. Just depends.
Well, I like Alien Sex Fiend and the Specimen and the Cramps, Birthday Party, Virgin Prunes, Oatmeal.
Stranglers, soft cell, things like that.
Now, a couple of the other...
So there you have it, some 80s original goths speaking about it themselves, and I must say I love their accents. They've got this really cool Yorkshire accent. So one of the great things about goth these days is with YouTube, there's so many tutorials of how to DIY your own goth clothes, and so all you need to do is a search for DIY goth clothes and loads of stuff will come up. I do quite a bit of DIY and customizing. I mean, I shop in charity shops. I find the small independent charity shops the better than the big chains. I find that they have more interesting, better items and better prices than the big charity shop chains. But I have found bargains in the big charity shop chains sometimes. Another thing I also do is I buy a lot of second-hand military surplus stuff, because a lot of that's really good for DIYing and customizing. And you can find items that are perfect for the look you want to do. For example, we've got this military hat here. Some of you might have seen me wearing this, but I added some stuff to it. I added the studs on it, and if you can see, it's got a little black cat badge. It had a military one on, but I took it off and I put a little black cat on there. And I added these goggles on, which bit of a steampunk thing, and I added a chain on as well. So this hat, it cost me, it's really good quality. It's wool, and it cost me $11.99, and I bought that from eBay, and it was so easy to customize, and it's perfect look for when I feel like wearing this type of thing. So also other easy DIY stuff that I've done is made my own Goth battle jacket, battle vest. Got the cramps, and we've got a I Hate the Sun patch which I made. On the back we've got the Undead, which are more horror punk than goth. 45 grave, more death rock really. And a big Misfits patch, and I did all this myself, you know, put all the studs in and everything. And this was bought from a charity shop, this jacket. I think it was about £5, and I cut the sleeves off, made it into a vest. But these are great for customizing. So another item that I DIY'd a bit and customized was this lightweight army jacket, and I've customized it with my own patches. The jacket was second hand, I think it was $9.99, you know, and I've got the green Goth patch. I've got a Totally Doomed patch on it. I put this little D-ring on myself. It's just like cheap little things. And then there's a Joy Division patch on it. And we've got a Christian Death patch. And Sisters of Mercy patch. Now most of the patches on there are handmade DIY patches. I didn't do these ones, but I have done stenciled patches before. Now the ones on this jacket a friend did for me. And another thing you can do, if you look online for goth band stencils, it should throw up a load of results for goth bands with little stencils that you can make out of cardboard and a craft knife, and you just use like a sponge with paint on and sponge through onto the fabric below. And last time I looked, it had most of the major goth bands. There's like stencils online to make your own patches. So while we're on the subject of patches, this is one that I did stencil myself on a different jacket, but it goes well with this video. It's the recycling sort of comedy patch there, but I get some funny looks with that one. But it's a laugh, and it's true. You can recycle stuff, you know, that people throw away. So I'll just show you another patch I made using a different method. This is a I Hate the Sun patch. It's a bit worn now, but it's got someone like cringing from the sun. It's a bit of a comedy one really, but it's glow in the dark material. It's like fabric, iron-on fabric sheets which you can print on a computer printer, you know, and that was just easy to do. It was easy to design it online and print it out onto this special paper which you can buy, and then you can like iron it onto fabric. So that's another method I used. Another tip is, if you're looking for an item secondhand, say you find something and it's a really nice item that you really like, but it's the wrong colour, you can check the fabric. If it's made of cotton or another thing that you can dye, then you can simply dye it into the colour that you want. So I've done that many times, and you know, I wouldn't always do that because it's a bit more expensive buying the dye. But if it's an item that's really fantastic, it's just the wrong colour and it's a dyeable fabric, then it's definitely worth doing. Now I've just shown you some basic customizations that I've done. I actually do a lot of stuff like sewing patches on, adding little details, stuff like that. But there's goth YouTubers that do really elaborate stuff, and you know, it's worth checking out some of the more elaborate things if that's what you like. Also, I would like to say, you know, if you're on a tight budget, really simple things can work for goth. For example, you know, if I've got an outfit, I'm just going to put a pair of black pants on, wear my boots, and for a top, say all I could find was a black shirt, just a plain black shirt. Now, if I wear a couple of accessories with that, it can really work. Like, say I've got a plain black shirt on, but I've got some kind of a pendant, then that can really make the outfit work. Or maybe a pendant and I've got, you know, a wristband of some kind, maybe with some studs on or something. It can really work. So even the really simple plain outfits can work if you get a couple of accessories to go with them. So I hope this video's helped some of you in some way. Goth clothes, they don't have to be expensive. They can be really, you know, inexpensive items. You know, you don't need to be rich. There is lovely items out there you can buy from shops. And, you know, if you can afford those items, go and get them. What I do is occasionally I'll save up and I'll get an item from a shop that I really like. But there's loads of DIY stuff that I use as well. So, you know, the reason of this video is, you know, it's trying to say that Goth is accessible for people, whatever your budget. So thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. Really helps grow the channel. And until the next video, don't forget, be different, stay weird, and stay free. Bye now.